Over the years, I've been collecting NASCAR diecasts, movies, games, and merch, and so much more. These stuff is what makes me to who I am today. So I want to share the history of my entire life as a NASCAR fan, and explain how I became a Junior Nation fan, Alien Nation fan, and lastly, the Larson Nation fan. If you watch this channel for a year or two, you know I have a tough love for cars. I have cars diecasts, video games, movies, and I voice Lightning McQueen in my shows. I first saw Cars when I was 1.5 years old, and I remember a lot of good memories about this movie. Unfortunately, I was only allowed to watch the movie like a few times, and that's how things were in the 2000s. Most parents didn't let their kids watch stuff multiple times, and it makes sense. They didn't want to get distracted over their important schedule. Each day, I always watched the Powerpuff Girls, SpongeBob SquarePants, My Life as a Teenage Robot, and Sonic X, and so much many more kids shows. But I was so addicted to race cars, so each time my grandparents come over to babysit me and my 4 older sisters, they always tell me stories about the past. And the one that stood out to me the most is when my grandfather talked about a NASCAR race from the 1980s through the 1990s, and talk about the greats like Dale Earnhardt Sr., Richard Petty, and so much more. This story blew out my mind since I was addicted to race cars. In 2010, I played a lot of Mario Kart Wii with my dad and my sisters, and I wasn't good at racing games back then. I collected so many Hot Wheel cars on my birthday and Christmas because of how much I'm a fan of cars. On Sunday, my parents were watching TV and were trying to find something to watch, and I was in front of them in the living room. Since I played a lot of toy cars, they showed me NASCAR on TV, and I loved it. The beautiful race cars going 190 miles per hour, fans sitting on the grandstands, and everything was just amazing. The first drivers I saw on TV were Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. I was a huge fan of them for a very long time. I know you guys are thinking, I was a Jimmy Johnson fan too? Yes, I was. His lowest paint scheme brought me into being a fan of his as well. And I liked Dale Earnhardt Jr. because of his personality. He always comes up as a funny guy to me. But I only watched a few hours of the race. Well, what do you expect? When I was a little kid, I couldn't sit down for a few hours. The only time I would sit down to watch the full race was the Daytona 500, the Coke 600, the Texas races, and the Bristol races. And those were because they were my favorite tracks back then. I know this may be controversial, but I grew up with the 2010s chase format. It was my favorite format back then, and I wish it came back because it reminds me of the Mario Kart Wii format. But you could get a penalty. I know a lot of people wanted the full season points format, but I never watched the golden age of NASCAR. But I learned about it from YouTubers. In 2012, I decided to watch every single NASCAR Cup race starting with the 2012 Daytona 500. But I couldn't watch it because it was around nighttime. I only watched a few laps of the race, and that was it. But the next race at Phoenix, I sit my butt down and watched the race fully. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was so close to winning races again, and again. I know Jimmy Johnson was winning races too, but I want Dale Earnhardt Jr. to win to break his winless streak. I didn't realize at the time that he was on the winless streak until the unthinkable happened.
There you go, buddy. White flag.
2 more miles to victory for Dale Earnhardt Jr. as the crowd stands and cheers here in Michigan.
Oh my God, I wish people at home could be here to see these people in the grandstands and to hear them. We're up here in the TV booth and you can hear these people.
Junior down the back straightaway and into turn 3 for the final time. There is going to be a party in Junior Nation tonight.
35 winners, boys. Hell yeah.
The streak is over. Dale Earnhardt Jr. back to victory lane in Michigan.
Pretty hard job. Thanks. I don't want to say.
Yeah, that's how exciting I was as a Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan. It was a great time to be a Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan. But that all ended when Dale Jr. got a concussion at Talladega and was forced to sit out for 2 races. but I still watched because Jimmy Johnson was still there. 2013 saw the debut of the Generation 6 car in the Cup Series, and I was excited for it. My excitement went down because of the 2013 Daytona 500. It was a snooze fest. Barely anything happened. They all went single file. Jimmy Johnson did win a race, but I was bored of the race. But I still watched the 2013 season, and Jimmy Johnson won his sixth NASCAR championship, so I was ready for 2014. In 2014, NASCAR introduced the knockout-style playoff format, where the top 16 drivers will compete in the 10-race stint to fight for the championship. People were upset about it, but me, I think I was ready for it. The season started out with Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning the Daytona 500. I went crazy after that win. I couldn't believe he won the Daytona 500 twice in 10 years. And Jimmy Johnson continued to win more and more. But the round of 12 is when went horribly wrong. Both Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson both got eliminated in the second round of the chase. I was upset that my two favorite drivers missed the third round. I was devastated, but despite that, I still continued watching. Now we're at 2015, where it went downhill from here. In 2015, NASCAR changed the horsepower to 750 to 800 horsepower. I wasn't ready for it because I liked the package from 2014. It was so fun and exciting. Now we're at the Daytona 500, and it was good, but later on it went downhill from here. Most of the races were boring. I wasn't into the season that much, but I still watched because I wanted to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. win this title. But guess what?
2 laps to determine who will win the race and who will advance into round 3 in the chase. Coming back into the NBC Sports restart zone, 220 feet. Green flag back in the air. The 4 not going. They wreck behind him. The green flag is out as they cross the start-finish line. Will they throw the caution? Trying to get back up to speed. Caution comes out. Now the question is who?
Dagnabbit, Kevin. You just can't let us have any fun for Dale Earnhardt Jr. fans, can you? Back then, I disliked Kevin Hart for what he did, but I eventually got over it. My spirits were high after Dale Jr. got eliminated. I continued to support him until his retirement. In July, Earnhardt was diagnosed with concussion-like symptoms and will miss the second half of the year as a result. He was replaced by Alex Bowman at New Hampshire and Jeff Gordon at Indianapolis and Pennsylvania. On September 2nd, Earnhardt will announce he would sit out for the remainder of the season, with Jeff Gordon and Bowman continuing the replacement roles in the 88. After I heard the news, I was devastated. I couldn't even believe that he's going to miss the rest of the season. I know the idiot was still on track, but I was still heartbroken. So what did the Junior Nation do? Well, without Dale Jr., I moved on from the sport, like a month since Dale Jr. was out. I completely forgot about the sport entirely. I was almost 11 years old at the time. So after I moved on from the sport, I moved on to playing PlayStation 3 games and PlayStation 2 games. I played Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Living Planet Karting, Batman Arkham, and Cars 1 the video game. Even after all these years, I became really good on them. Like, seriously. I was close to being 11 and I moved on from the sport entirely to focus on school and some other things. 2018 did not get off to a good start. On February 3rd, my grandfather passed away, and I was upset. I enjoyed his stories as a child. I was completely devastated that he was gone. So I went to middle school. I hated it. And my friends that talked about NASCAR nonstop went to different schools. Yeah, 2018 was horrible. But that was also the year the unthinkable happened that day. I returned to watching NASCAR when they raced at the Watkins Glen, and then it happened.
Do 7 turns perfectly at Watkins Glen to grab his first career win. He goes wide through turn 1, the 78 coming up, closing the gap.
Fans jumping up and down, yelling, screaming, losing their minds here at Watkins Glen. Can Elliott hang on?
races for the final time.
Almost giving up the lead in turn one, but he's now got another comfortable lead as he breaks into the inner loop. Martin Truex charges hard, trying to gain that ground back. No mistakes by either driver here, but Chase Elliott a cleaner corner. Now it's about 4 car lengths there through the carousel. Chase Elliott almost home free. Truex wide in the corner.
He looks to be in great shape, but the mistake that he made in one again cannot be replicated here in turn 6.
Truex is out of fuel.
Truex is out. Now Chase can just cruise to victory lane.
His spotter lets him know he's out of fuel. Chase Elliott comes out of turn number 7. The crowd roars. They're going to see for the first time Chase Elliott win in the Monster Energy Cup Series.
Holy crap. Chase Elliott won in the fuel mileage while beating the defending champion Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson pushed Chase Elliott to the start-finish line after the race. So, after the race, I searched him up and he was a 2014 Xfinity Series champion for Junior Motorsports, which was the team Dale Earnhardt Jr. owned. So, on that fateful day, I became the Chase Elliott fan and the rest was history. Now we're at the 2020s, the current era of NASCAR. I just came out of the most boring 2019 season. Yeah, Chase Elliott won 3 times, but the new package is garbage as usual. The shutdown happened, and I had nothing to do. That is, I realized I could just make some YouTube videos. If you watch GrimPaint's channel or Jaden Master's channel, I had old videos that I created in 2018 that is filled with just with Little Planet, NASCAR, and Nintendo content. I only got 25 subscribers when I started it during the shutdown. I also did my own NASCAR series called Cars the Series and Cars Stop Motion Random Cuts. They both ended in November 2020, but I'm planning to go back to stop motion pretty soon. But by the end of 2020, that's when I was excited. Chase Elliott won Charlotte Road the second straight year. He won at Martinsville to advance to the championship 4, and after that race, everyone started to hate on Chase Elliott, all because Kevin Harvick missed the Final 4. Well, yes, Kevin Harvick should have won the championship that year. Chase Elliott shouldn't get hated for that. Let's not forget that Chase Elliott got screwed as well, and people just forget about it. Like he got screwed at Bristol, Charlotte, Darlington, twice, Homestead, and many more I'm forgetting. Look, just because he got screwed over a lot doesn't mean he's a Mickey Mouse. This dude could have won like 10 races if he didn't get screwed. But now we're on to the day where us Elliott fans became so happy.
Crowd jumping up and down and cheering.
What a momentous afternoon in Arizona.
It's been smooth. Almost 3-second lead.
Final time. Chase Elliott on his way to the title.
Coming checker. We are the champion! Yes! Ah! Yes! Ah! Ring that siren, boys! Yes! Way to go, champ!
Holy crap. Elliott won his first NASCAR Cup Series title with just 5 wins. Oh my god. I was so happy that Chase Elliott got the win again. Chase Elliott won his second title in the NASCAR in the Big 3 NASCAR National Series, and now we're on to 2021. In fall 2020, Kyle Larson is going to join Hendrick Motorsports in the rebranded 5 car, and I was honestly ready for his comeback because I was a fan of his racing moves in the lower series. I was already a fan of him because of his racing moves, and then it happened.
A couple of points. Going to put Hamlin to the top, Keselowski, and then Larson. As Kyle Larson wins Las Vegas.
Back in 2017, a pole and then go ahead and win the race. Going to do it again right here in 2021.
Kyle Larson wins the Coca-Cola 600. Turn 11, the final braking zone. And Rick Hendrick's team's going to tie a record that stood since 1956. 1-2 finishes 4 races in a row as Kyle Larson wins at Sonoma.
Going to make it 3 wins in a row. Kyle Larson returns to Nashville Superspeedway a winner. For the driver of the 5, Kyle Larson comes out of 7 for the final time, and Larson is going to win at the Glen. Larson, now Elliott on the inside of Harvick. Watch for that. Larson clears him out of 4. Larson's going to win at Bristol. To win 3 road course races in the same season. Kyle Larson through the chicane for the final time. He will win at the Charlotte Roval. Kyle Larson, a dominant performance. He leads 256 laps, and he'll win at Texas.
Phoenix, run for a title. Good job.
Round of 8 of the best drivers in NASCAR. He has put it on him. He wins again. Larson wins at Kansas. Down the backstretch for the final time.
There's going to be a lap car on the inside. Not going to allow Truex to run that low line that he wants to run.
Kyle Larson a year ago watched the race from North Carolina. Today, he's a Cup Series champion.
Larson redeemed himself with 10 wins, a championship that day, and after the championship, I became a Chase Elliott fan and a Larson fan. After Dale Jr.'s retirement and Jimmy Johnson's retirement, I see my new favorite drivers in the matter of 3 years. And now, let's move on to the games. In the years, I got these NASCAR games. So the first NASCAR game I got was NASCAR Heat Evolution. I got this around September, and I did not like this game. Like when I first played it, I didn't like this game, and deserves to be one of the worst NASCAR games ever. The second NASCAR game I got is NASCAR Heat 3, which I got for my PlayStation 4 when I got my PS4 on Christmas Day in 2018. I got NASCAR Heat 4. I got it on October 2019, and I think it's one of the best NASCAR Heat games in the 704 games era. We have NASCAR Heat 2, which I got NASCAR Heat 2 during the shutdown. And let me tell you, it was a big step up from NASCAR Heat Evolution. And I know I don't have a physical version, but I got NASCAR Heat 5 on my PlayStation 4 and my PlayStation 5, which I got on the day it released. And I did not like it at first, but after the many patches, I enjoyed the game now. And then we have NASCAR 21 Ignition. I got it 2 days after its initial launch, and I hated the game. Like, I did not like NASCAR 21 Ignition. I also, even though I have it on my Switch, I got NASCAR Heat Ultimate Edition Plus, and I absolutely love this game. It's great to have a NASCAR game on the go. But we have NASCAR Rivals, which is exclusively for the Nintendo Switch for whatever reason. Like, I don't understand why it can't be on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, or the Xbox One. Like, I don't get it. Come on. Like, seriously. I got this game in Christmas 2022, and it was a really fun game. Now we have NASCAR 14 and NASCAR 15, which I got on my birthday. I got these 2 games from eBay. It was a birthday gift, and people say that NASCAR 2011 the game is bad. I disagree with that. I personally enjoy this game, and I think NASCAR 14. Yeah, I seriously love NASCAR 14 as well. I think it's number 2 of the Eutechnic era. So there you go, guys. I got all the and there you go, you guys. Those are all the NASCAR games I got. So there are two games that are in digital form, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, NASCAR Heat 5, 8, NASCAR 21, 9. Wait, no, not NASCAR 21. No. I mean NASCAR Heat Ultimate Edition Plus is 8. So I got 8 NASCAR games that I have 8 physical NASCAR games and 2 digital NASCAR games. And that is awesome. Now, I don't have that many merchandise, but I'll show you guys my first merchandise that I got in Christmas in 2020. Here's my Chase Elliott t-shirt where he won the championship in 2020, and this Chase Elliott Mountain Dew hat. But the thing is that the cap thing is supposed to be green, not gray. So yeah, I know it's not the right hat, but it looks similar. But instead of that gray, it's pink. It was green. And my first ever NASCAR race I ever attended was the 2021 Texas All-Star Race. Yeah, I know you people are thinking, around that time I've been a fan. I've returned to NASCAR for like 3 years, and it was my first ever NASCAR race I ever attended. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird, but back then my family didn't want to take me to NASCAR races. They weren't even into NASCAR back then. But that day changed where they watched NASCAR with me in 2018 for most of the races. So yeah, I went to some other races at Texas as well. I even visited at Circuit of the Americas, which y'all can check out the video, which y'all can see the full video down in the description below. This is Chase TPS, and I'll see you next time.